Before we begin, just wanted to make sure that you're using Internet Explorer for this applet. It won't run in Chrome. So this is an exploration to show you how to use the applet for type 1 and type 2 errors. Okay, so if you copy the link and paste it into Internet Explorer, the link's on my blog, it'll bring you to this page by Tom Rogers where it explains type 1 and type 2 errors. So that might be something that you would want to review or maybe have your students read. But if you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, there is a little link here that's going to open the type 1 and type 2 error applet. Okay. So here it is, and I'm just going to slide to the center of the screen here. Now, the first thing that you want to talk about is your type 1 error, and typically we set that to about 5%. So let me move my alternative hypothesis kind of out of the way so you can see the type 1 error right now is set to almost 16%, but I'm going to slide that to the right to about 5%. Okay. You want to explain what a type 1 error is to your students. Okay. And what I have set up here now is a large effect size between the alternative hypothesis and, the alternative here and the null hypothesis here. With a very large effect size, you can see that the power of the test is 100% and the probability of making a type 2 error is 0. As the effect size decreases, okay, you can see the distance between the means up here is decreasing. Okay, that's your effect size. As the effect size decreases, we now increase the type 1 error. You now see that we have the type 1 error at about 1% here. But again, we kept the type 1 error at 5%. All we're doing is decreasing the effect size. So you want to talk about how the effect size is going to affect the type 2 error and the power of the test. Okay? It's important to talk about the relationship between the type 2 error and the power. You can see here as the type 2 error increases, this power decreases. I'll show you that a little bit more. You can see that increasing, the yellow area is getting larger. That's your type 2 error, and the power of the test is decreasing. Okay. I'm going to put this back with a large effect size, and actually, let me show you this. If you slide your alternative hypothesis, I have the distance between the means to be about 2.7. Okay. You can change the probability of making a type 1 error. Okay. And it's important to talk to your students about the relationship between the type 1 and type 2 error. As type 1 error is decreasing, notice the red area is decreasing, type 2 error is going to increase. Okay. And it's important to talk to your students about the relationship between type 1 and type 2 error. As type 2 decreases, okay, the yellow area is decreasing, the type 1 error decreases. So they have an inverse relationship. As one increases, the other decreases. So then the question should arise, well, how do you decrease both type 1 and type 2 error at the same time? So I'm going to set this back to the type 1 error to about 5%. That's usually our alpha level. Okay, that's known as the alpha level, as you know. And I have the type 2 error set at 10%. If you scroll down here, you can change the sample size. Okay, and notice as the sample size increases, the type 1 and type 2 error both decrease. So this is a pretty good applet to explain to students that the only way to decrease type 1 and type 2 error at the same time is to increase the sample size. So I'd have your students play around with this applet, play around with different effect sizes, and note the changes between the type 1 and the type 2 error.